Hi, today we're diving into the fundamentals of chess openings, perfect for beginners with ratings below 1400. We'll be covering essential topics to help you start your games off strong. Mastering the basic fundamentals of chess is crucial for taking your game from the beginner to intermediate level. Let's jump right in with our first tip of the day. In the opening, your first goal is to develop all of your minor pieces, the knights and bishops, towards the center, moving each piece only once. Moving your pieces towards the center is a critical idea, as from there, they will control the most squares, as well as be flexible enough to move quickly to any part of the board at a moment's notice. Because of this, gaining control of the center with a pawn on the very first move is a popular and powerful idea. Not only does this move control some of those important central squares, but it also sets our bishop free, ready to be developed towards the center. Let's see some typical development in action. Okay, so white has completed the first step of the opening. He has developed all of his minor pieces towards the center of the board, and he has only moved each piece once. White's opening has been pretty good. Black, on the other hand, didn't watch this video. He has developed one of his knights away from the center, where it controls less squares. He has also moved a piece more than once. This is bad because he is essentially losing turns by doing this. Notice how white has all 4 minor pieces developed, while black only has 2. He's losing time by moving pieces more than once. On top of this, black has made a silly mistake that 99% of beginners make. He has pushed one of his outer pawns forward 1 square. Maybe he was afraid of the knight moving in, but the reality is this knight isn't really threatening anything here. Pushing an outer pawn forward 1 square is just a waste of a move in most situations, so just stop doing it. Okay, let's move on to the second tip of the day, which is king safety. In chess, king safety is very important. After all, if you lose your king, you lose the game. Because of this, you'll want to get your king castled as soon as possible. Castling is when you move your king 2 spaces towards either edge of the board, then place the rook from that edge on the other side of your king. In most games, you'll be castling on the king side, or the short side of the board, as it's a bit safer. But sometimes you will be castling queen side, which is the long side of the board. One thing to keep in mind is if you want a secure, safe game, you should castle on the same side as your opponent did. But if you want to have a bit of a crazy attacking game, you can castle on the opposite side. Once you've castled, it's important that you keep your castle wall strong. If you move the pawns in front of your king, you're essentially opening the gatehouse and allowing your opponent's pieces to walk right in. Okay, so let's castle. Let's say black takes here, we recapture, and castles. Okay, we've developed our minor pieces towards the center. We've also made sure that our king is safe in his castle. The final step of the opening is to find a place for our queen and rooks. In chess, the queen and rooks are known as the heavy pieces. In order to find out where to best place the heavy pieces, we first need to understand a very important concept. Files. Files are the vertical lines on a chessboard. Files can be either closed, open, or semi-open. A closed file is a file that has pawns of both colors on it, while an open file has no pawns of either color on it. A semi-open file is a file that has pawns of only one color on it. A semi-open file is better for the player with no pawn on it. Let me show you what I mean. Here, if white were to place his rook on e1, you can see it has a long scope down the file and is looking directly at a black target. On the other hand, if black were to try and do the same thing by placing his rook on e8, his rook scope is short and doesn't target any of white's pieces. Heavy pieces are usually happiest on open and semi-open files when they are not blocked by their own pawns. If there are no open or semi-open files, the heavy pieces will be happy in a central position, as the center is often the most likely to open up at some point in the game. Let's head back to our game. In this game, white's rooks will be happiest on e1, where there is a semi-open file, and d1, where he will be nicely centralized. Now the queen is a special piece, as it can make use of not only open files, but also open diagonals. Keep in mind that your queen should be developed to a position where she cannot get harassed by enemy pieces, so d2 might be a nice spot for her. Okay, white has completed the opening, and all of his pieces are placed on great squares. Black has not played well. His pieces are undeveloped, and his king is not safe. He has also wasted many moves. Now that we've covered the fundamentals, it's time to test you on your new knowledge. This is the most important part of the video, as it will help to cement the ideas in your mind. If you're really looking to improve at chess, it's important that you really think about your answers and the reasons behind them. This short test is multiple choice, and you will have 10 seconds to lock in your answer to each question. Question number 1. In this position, what is white's best move? A. Bishop c4. B. Knight d5. C. h3. If you chose A, Bishop c4, congratulations! You followed the first step of the opening. Develop your minor pieces, the bishops and knights, towards the center, while only moving each piece once. I'm also very glad you decided against the surprisingly popular but nonsensical h3, an action that lets black have 2 moves in a row. Question number 2. In this position, what is white's best move? A. Knight g5. B. Queen d2. C. Castles. If you chose C, castles, congratulations! After developing our minor pieces, we need to get our king to safety as soon as possible. Remember, you need to finish all of your opening tasks before going for an attack, which is why knight g5 is incorrect. Question number 3. In this position, where should white place his A rook? A. d1. B. a3. C. c1. If you chose d1, congratulations! Remember, rooks want to sit on open files or semi-open files. However, if neither of these are available, they are best placed in a central position, as the center is most likely to open up at some point in the game. That's the end of the test for today. I hope you managed to strengthen your opening fundamentals and now have a better idea of how to set yourself up for a comfortable middle game. If you have any questions or thoughts, please do leave them in the comments section below. Or if you found this topic too easy, feel free to check out my intermediate videos, where I cover master level topics in a clear and easy to understand manner. Until next time, keep playing, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next one.